Welcome to another edition of the We-On-Loc Nation channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Become a member of the We-On-Loc Nation channel, and I will try my best to provide the best content that I can provide for you all. I will try my best. This might not last very long. Using my phone. I'm trying to get some better equipment for the stream. So if this has to continue, then it'll continue. But I like doing this for you. I like doing this for y'all, and I like doing what I do for y'all. But this is not about me. This is about White Nation. White Nation. We will no longer be afraid to be white in American society. Pure white Christian brotherhood. Ain't that right? J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, we will support you in harming him. Get rid of all these Yankees. Get rid of all of them. Get rid of all these Yankees and whatever else these brown people, that these mud pies, these mud people. Get rid of all the mud people in American society. And you blacks, stay away. As a matter of fact, if I ever see you back in the woods, I shoot first and ask questions later. Damn right. I come from a line of hanging out with good Christian Marian brotherhood. And I got my white sheet here. I got my white sheet for J.D. Vance just in case he needs it. I know he's running a campaign, and I don't want to be a burden to him, but us brothers, us Christian nation, we got your back 100%. And what's that fine young lady's name? The one that little boy, that little gay boy. That boy that got killed, that got popped in the neck. What was his name again? What was that boy's name again? Charlie Kirk. His wife, Erica Kirk. That's a fine Christian, white, pure Christian woman there. That's a fine Christian woman. We got a white sheet for her too if she wants that white sheet. But I don't want to mess up her campaign. When Donald Trump, that's one. That's another one right there. I don't understand these people you're letting in the country. These Japanese people, these other Asian people you're going to let in the country. I don't know what that's all about. We'll talk about it. We're going to get and talk about it there, Mr. Trump. But other than that, you have done some good things for us. You've done some good things for us, white Aryan nation. You've done some real good things for us. Yeah. Put Carol in her place. I don't know what's wrong with her. We'll do her something nasty if she ever disrespects you like that, Mr. Trump. We'll do something nasty to her. And we have to protect and provide for anybody who's a pure Christian white. And like I said, J.D. Vance, you're a Navy SEAL. You're an ex-Navy SEAL. You know how the deal goes. We got this this white sheet. It was I had to rub my nose there. I had to do a couple lines there. But anyway, this right here is one of the reasons why I bled for this nation. When Richard Spencer came around, we bled for this nation. We fought wars in this nation. We fought wars. If the South would have won, I don't know where we would have been. But I do take pride in our white missionary brotherhoods, our brothers and sisters who we have like we're brothers and sisters now. We don't do none of that stuff out there where black people always proclaim that we have sex with our brothers and sisters. What you do? I'm trying to tell you, this is I already said it, a brotherhood in the nation's capital. We have gotten rid of 2.5. What was it now? I'm not very educated. 25,000 immigrants. The brown people, we call them mud people. All the mud people, we got all the mud people. That's what we did. With the help of a pure Christian man named Donald Trump, we finally got rid of these some bitches that just pillaged and plundered and killed this area. You know that we were a nation of 85% whites in this country. 85% whites. 85% versus 11% of the peoples that sell drugs to one another, has killed one another. We're afraid of those people. We're afraid. We are totally afraid. They come and wherever we move to, they move to. We're afraid. They blaze their music. They blaze that. What was that guy's name? Little Vane, little Kane, little what was it? What was it? Jeff Rowe. What was that little guy's name with the locks and the long hair? What was it? Oh, it was Lil Wayne. We don't like Lil Wayne. We don't like Lil Wayne, and I don't know what Megan Meg the Stallion. That white woman, that white, she's not white. She's not white. Meg the Stallion is not white. Meg the Stallion. Let me look up Meg the Stallion. She's a darkie. She's a darkie. She's a dark woman that's shaking a little derriere when Indian Harris was running for, I don't know what the hell that little Indian was doing, and proclaiming that she's a darkie too. I don't know what that shit was all about, but J.D. Vance has a pure-blooded white brotherhood for you. That's pure, brother. That's a pure, like in that movie, that wonderful movie, and I don't know why Remy killed himself at the end. I don't know why that pure white brother, he is a pure white. He killed himself at the end and sacrificed himself for the Aryan Brotherhood. Sick high, sickity high, sickity high. Sorry, I had to do more lines. Okay, I had to do more lines there. Sickity high, sickity high. We gotta watch. I can't do this shit. I can't do this shit anymore. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. Just like this son of a bitch. He's a joke too. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Boy.
There's still so much important work to do, my friends. We're barely a year into this administration, not even a year into the administration. But I'm so proud of the accomplishments of the president and the entire administration. In just a year, we ended Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's border crisis. December marks 7 months. 0 releases at the southern border. More than 2.5 million illegal immigrants have left the United States, the first time in over 50 years that we have had negative net migration, and it's just the start.
White power! White power! White power!
When you restore sanity at the border, it shows up everywhere else. Rent prices are dropping 4 months in a row, and more native-born Americans are working than ever before. Kamala Harris opened the border and destroyed the economy. The Trump administration gave you net negative migration and much more job creation.
White power! White power!
Real wages are finally growing. Inflation is half of what it was under Democrats. Gas prices are their lowest in years. And we have finally made it clear that in the United States, we believe in hard work and merit. Unlike the left, we stand against treating anybody, and I love what Nikki said about this. We don't treat anybody different because of their race or their sex. So we have relegated DEI to the dustbin of history, which is exactly where it belongs.
Fuck that bitch. White power! White power!
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
White power! White power! White power!
And if you're an Asian, you don't have to talk around your skin color when you're applying for college, because we judge people based on who they are, not on ethnicity and things they can't control.
Bullshit. White power!
We don't persecute you for being male, for being straight, for being gay, for being anything. The only thing that we demand is that you be a great American patriot, and if you're that, you're very much on our team. Just consider the contrast. Kamala Harris used the government to censor you. We're using in the Trump administration the government to protect your free speech, whether it's on college campuses or in the digital marketplace of ideas. Today, our military is welcoming patriots instead of firing them for refusing to accept an unlawful vaccine mandate. And to honor Charlie, but also to honor all of you, we're working to end the scourge of left-wing violence in the United States of America. We're going after the far-left crime networks, but we're also going after the monsters that fund them. We don't just want to go after the Antifa member who threw a brick at an ICE agent. We want to know who bought the brick, and we're going to prosecute them too. We're making America healthy again with our great HHS Secretary, Bobby Kennedy. We're bringing drug prices down and purging our food supply of the poison that had built up over a generation. But my friends, there is so much more to be done. And the people saying we need to be doing more, we need to be doing it faster, trust me, I hear you. Greatness awaits every single one of you in the America First movement we are building together, but we need your help to get of yourself.
Yeah, that damn. What the hell's going on here? What in the hell? I'm trying to conduct a conversation and this goddamn
Democratic Congress.
Shut the hell up, woman. White power! White power! White power! Oh, is this the bullshit that keeps on giving? The bullshit that keeps on giving. Oh, my God. Hold on a second. I can't let this go. I can't let it. White power! That JD Vance right there, and that's a special kind of guy right there. He can drink one of our Budweisers any other day. And who is this brown woman that he's going up, but he's not going up against her. He's the vice president. He's going to be even more of a better president than Trump has ever been. But let me ask you a question. Who's that one woman that he talked about in his fine speech? What was her name? Her name was Jasmine. Was it Jasmine? Hey, Jeffro. Was it Jasmine? Yeah, Jasmine. What was her last name? Like it matters. Jasmine, the black woman, that black woman that niggered him, and she ain't nothing but a niggered him, H word. I can't say the H word and get my shit demonetized, but she makes babies and making babies and making babies and polluting the air, polluting God's white air with her rhetoric and with her naysay. Talking about the president accusing our good Aryan Christian white president. I can't do this shit. I can't do this shit. I can't do this. Oh, oh my God. Hit the let's just get into it, please. Let's just get into it. Who cares? My God.
Woman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. She sits on the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees. Also, she is running for the U.S. Senate in Texas. Congresswoman, thanks for being with us, and we're going to get to your Senate race in a moment. But first, what do you and your colleagues on these committees plan to do to enforce the law so that Epstein's victims finally get the
Okay, this thing has been No, we don't want to hear you. We don't want to hear your punk ass again. We really don't. But each time I go here, they always end up skipping this. I don't know why. I do not. No, wait, hold up. Is this it? Is this it? Tell me this is it.
Democrats have long dreamed of turning Texas blue or even a bit more purple, and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is hoping to finally make that dream a reality. She recently launched her campaign for the upcoming Texas Senate election, and as of now, she appears to be the frontrunner, holding an 8-digit lead over her Democratic prime.
Are you fucking kidding me? She's got 51%. 51%, and who's this James Terror leader? Some Mexican guy. He looks white, but he has a Mexican name. I don't know what the hell that shit's all about. How come they don't have any white people going up against this nigger, this little nigger?
Rival Texas State Representative James Tallarico. And just hours ago, Vice President J.D. Vance weighed in on the race at the Turning Point USA conference.
And Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. The record speaks for itself. She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
And Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is back.
That was gay. White power.
Let's start right there.
That was just so gay.
With the way that the vice president speaks about you, the caricature he tried to make of you at this conservative youth conference, I think every black woman heard what he was trying to say there. It's extra laughable in a way because what precedes this moment is him coming out to an entire pyrotechnic show and rock music and fanfare for, him to comment on your flair. But what do you think he's trying to say there? What do you think he's trying to signal at a conference like this to an audience like this?
Well, first of all, he's trying to rile up his base because right now we know that no matter if we're looking in deep red Tennessee, Mississippi, or Georgia, we know that we're swinging no less than 10 points. And unlike what we've had historically in Texas, because I know that you talked about the Texas dream of turning us blue, is that we have a candidate in me who absolutely plans to talk to any and everybody, and that is why they are afraid. The fact that he said I have a quote-unquote street girl persona, I'm sorry, but anybody that you talk to knows my credentials. They know that I've gone to school. They know that I'm educated. I never tried to put on some random story about where I came from, but at the end of the day, I am who I am, and I am authentic. And that is actually what they are fearful of, is my authenticity, because it rings true with every single American, whether they're a Texan or not. It rings true that I am fighting for real everyday people. And instead of talking about policy, when you're talking about the record speaks for itself, baby, let's talk about your record. Because the only reason you're the vice president is because the current president tried to have his last president killed. Let's talk about qualifications. Let's talk about who has actually been fighting for people way before she ever ran for office, whether it was in the courtroom or if it was in the streets, making sure those that were out there wanting to exercise their constitutional right to come together and protest injustices. I was representing pro bono people that were getting arrested as they were out in the streets. So listen, I don't have time for him and their games. They are scared and they should be scared. I need Texans to focus in. I need them to think about the fact that our 2 senators literally just voted against extending the Affordable Care Act tax subsidies that would help an additional almost 4 million people that are on the marketplace in a state where we have 5 million that are completely uninsured. They basically are trying to put another 4 million people off of their insurance. And this is before we endure the cuts that are coming because of the big ugly bill where we know 17 million people in this country are going to lose their health care. Listen, I'm staying focused. I'm not going to be distracted. And when they can tell me about their policies that are helping Texans, then we can have a conversation. Until then, take whatever shots you want to take at me, because I have been a Black woman my entire life. I promise you, there are other people just like JD Vance who have tried to do the same racist tropes my entire life, and somehow I ascended and became a U.S. Congresswoman. It will not be different when I become a U.S. Senator, and we can have a conversation when I get to the Senate floor if he wants to talk.
That goddamn fucking Jasmine. That damn Jasmine ain't worth the paper printed on. That damn Jasmine. How the hell is she gonna disrespect a pure white Aryan nation brother like that? How the hell you gonna do that? He served wars. He's an ex-Navy SEAL. I don't know about his wife there. His wife is Indian. According to the website, his wife is Indian. But if he's fine with her, he's fine with me as well. Just don't be talking that stuff. You gonna talk plain English to me, or it's gonna be a problem there. All right? How can y'all breathe in this shit? How can y'all breathe? This is unnatural. Boy, if I had my way. But let me continue.
Congressman, I'm so glad you brought up policy. I went back and I watched your launch speech about your campaign for Senate, and a lot of it was talking about the back and forth.
Oh, and before I forget, to lock Bigsby. I'm better than Bigsby. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Become a member. I just don't know how they do. I just don't know how they do this. I just don't know how. And they be funking up them damn sheets, boy. Oh, woo. Like I said, if I had my way, these white, you know what? Let me stay focused.
With Trump and other people who have put you down over the years, but there really wasn't that much about policy. So I want to give you the opportunity now to talk a little bit about that. Affordability is on everyone's minds. You talked about extending the ACA subsidies. Can you give us like a couple of other examples of policies that you would fight for to help Texans, your constituents, on affordability issues if you were granted a seat in the Senate?
Yeah, so first of all, I think we need to raise the minimum wage. We have not done that in a national way, and so Texas is not taking it upon themselves. So the minimum wage is still $7.25. We can start to go ahead and put more money into working people's pockets. And whether you're a minimum wage worker or otherwise, we know that once you raise the minimum wage, everyone else's wages go up. We know that costs are going up to the extent that we know that when people were showing up in those food lines, as the president was sending $40 billion over to Argentina, instead of making sure that people that are supposed to get their SNAP benefits had their money, we know that there were a lot of working class people. We have somehow decided that in this country, we were okay with 2 senators from Texas voting to make tax cuts for billionaires permanent, while at the same time not being okay with making sure the tax subsidies that are temporary are available as it relates to healthcare. We also know that we are in Texas, and we do trading big. We are one of the largest trading states in this entire world. And with that, we know that we are experiencing record bankruptcies from a lot of our small businesses because of the tariff policies that this president has decided he wanted to implement. It is time to rein him in. It is time to implement some sort of checks and balances because he has exceeded his power. We also know that ultimately, when I came down to making this decision, the Senate is the one that actually has oversight over the Supreme Court. It is time for us to actually exercise some oversight. And this is the only court, the highest court in the land. It's the only one that does not have any type of ethics that they have to follow. I think that we need to look at that. In addition to the fact, anyone who gets a lifetime appointment has to go through the Senate. And so it's time for us to make sure that we have someone who has been in those courtrooms and can make sure that the right judges are on the benches.
If you would like to see that Jasmine Crockett is in that seat, I want you to, and I will put this in the live stream, I will put this in the chat. Go to change.org/ what did I say? Change.org/ swearing Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate. I will absolutely put that in the chat for you. Meanwhile, while I do that, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Yes, and definitely support. You can support her in many, many different ways. Let me see if I can find this for you real quick. Like, I want, and you know what? I wonder if J.D. Vance is in the Epstein files. Says he won't talk and shit. I wonder if this punk ass is in the Epstein files. That's a lot of text messages. A lot. That's a lot of There's a lot of text messages. A lot of this. A lot of that. Let's see. Let me log in. Yes, that's me. I don't know why I did that. Yes, I don't know why. I don't know anything here. This is what I already know my organization is. Thank you. That's all I wanted. So, share, give the link. Thank you very much. Now, technical difficulties. All right, I'm going to put this in the chat, and all you have to do is go to change.org, change.org/ swearing Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate. There you go. Let me pause this real quick. Let's see. You want to kick. See? And some of these people are just full of shit. A lot of these people are just full of shit. You want this to be a white nation, but you got mixed Indian, blah, 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 blah. I mean, just people from overseas and people who need to renew their visas. I mean, some of these people are just so full of shit. All right, it's in the chat, people. It's in the chat. So go ahead and hit that link and just go ahead and sign the petition. And it's free. Petition is free. It's not about voting Democrat. You can vote Democrat or Republican. The fact of the matter is, who's right for that seat, who will give you more club for your buck, and who will not screw you in the back end. Donald Trump has screwed many of people in the past. And those same people, mind you, those same people are not for you. So don't think just because it's like we can obviously get to those people who are Donald Trump has screwed throughout the years. Don't think that way. Because they're not for you and they will never be. We have no allies. We have 0 allies. Now let's finish. Let's finish. Oh my goodness, we got us a tether in here. Hold on, let me put on my white sheet. We got us a goddamn tether in here. Get that tether out of here. Get her out of here, that damn Lisa Carter. Get her out of here. No, I'm playing. Let's see. I went too far.
Minimum wage, everyone else's wages go up. We know that costs are going up to the extent that we know that when people were showing up in those food lines, as the president was sending $40 billion over to Argentina, instead of making sure that people that are supposed to get their SNAP benefits had their money, we know that there were a lot of working class people. We have somehow decided that in this country, we were okay with 2 senators from Texas voting to make tax cuts for billionaires permanent, while at the same time not being okay with making sure the tax subsidies that are temporary are available as it relates to healthcare. We also know that we are in Texas and we do trading big. We are one of the largest trading states in this entire world. And with that, we know that we are experiencing record bankruptcies from a lot of our small businesses because of the tariff policies that this president has decided he wanted to implement. It is time to rein him in. It is time to implement some sort of checks and balances because he has exceeded his power. We also know that ultimately, when I came down to making this decision, the Senate is the one that actually has oversight over the Supreme Court. It is time for us to actually exercise some oversight. And this is the only court, the highest court in the land. It's the only one that does not have any type of ethics that they have to follow. I think that we need to look at that. In addition to the fact, anyone who gets a lifetime appointment has to go through the Senate. And so it's time for us to make sure that we have someone who has been in those courtrooms and can make sure that the right judges are on the benches.
Congressman, I wanted to, if I can, talk to you a little bit about Israel. It's an issue that's obviously coming up and an important one for Democrats in their primaries. You've been recently asked a lot about Israel. There's been some criticism about your voting rights. There was a clip that went viral recently of you saying you should look at your record. I had a chance to look at some of your record on some of the Israel issues. In April,
Israel is a white nation. White power. White power.
2024, you voted yes on the Israel Security Supplemental Bill, which sent billions of dollars in military assistance to Israel. It did not condition aid on a ceasefire or humanitarian aid to Palestinians in Gaza. There was also multiple letters that were circulated by members of Congress that specifically called on conditioning aid to humanitarian aid going into Gaza. You did not sign those letters. I just want to give you a chance to clarify your record for voters in Texas who have been pressing this issue now, and give you a chance to respond. What do you say to those who are anxious or nervous or concerned about your support for human rights when it comes to Israeli violations against Palestinians?
Yeah, so I've got countless letters that I've signed on to as it relates to the people of Gaza and what's taking place. In fact, we just signed on to another one just this week. We have signed on to letters that have gone directly to Netanyahu about things that are taking place. We signed on to a letter just this week that was going directly to the president about this ceasefire and concerns about the fact that it's not actually a ceasefire right now and there's been violations. And so I will continue to do that. In addition to that, there was a viral clip that was literally clipped, that was cut short, that specifically was asking me about the April package that I voted yes on. And on that April package, it also sent aid to Taiwan. It also sent aid also had aid for Gaza. And so, you know, when you're in the minority, which is what we are, we don't write the bills. But what we were able to do when we ended up voting no on two other measures, one was to send aid to Israel and nothing else. Another was to send aid to Israel and to defund the IRS. I voted no on that. We then took those no votes. We then applied pressure to make sure that we could get aid for others in a package because the Republicans were not interested whatsoever. And yes, there were defensive arms that we voted for as well. But when you're in a divided government, as we've been in, you vote for what's on the floor and you get sometimes not necessarily a perfect bill, but truly, I absolutely believe that we had to make sure that we got aid in for those others. So when that video clip ended, it said I voted for all the supplementals. That is exactly what I was talking about. That April supplemental that I was asked about, it was supplementing those other countries as well.
All right, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, we appreciate your time. We look.
Just in case the people that weren't here or are just now getting here, the reason that we're here in the first place is because it's a war. We'll just call it for what it is. It's a war that Jasmine Crockett is going to have to overcome when it comes to this white nation. That's the way it's turned out to. And the reason why I say that is because people feel emboldened to express how they feel. Yes, very much very much express how they feel about this nation. And it's not just white people too. It's just certain dumbass niggas, especially in my comment section. I don't know why that is. I don't know why. And I haven't been given an explanation on why the brothers, not all of them, but the brothers specifically are against a woman that could possibly, maybe if given the chance to get some shit done. I don't get it for the life of me. But before I get into that, I just want to share one more time the reason for the rhetoric. And bear with me because this is the most, not just the pop shots, but the nonsense. I mean, it's just plain nonsense. Let me see what I can get into. First, starting with this. For those who weren't here, for those who are just now getting here.
The Turning Point USA Conference.
And Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. The record speaks for itself. She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
Like I said, pop shots, like ad hominem attacks. I mean, white folks are free to do that all day, every day, just to get her off balance. I would say this, and if Jasmine were here in my presence, I would just say to her, don't focus on that. I mean, we've been called worse names for over 1,000 years. We've been called worse. Our main focus is to get where you need to be in that seat. Because once the primary is done and you're going to win the primary, then it's the general election. And after the general election, you basically got a fight on your hands because, again, it has been said before that it's been 30 years since any person of color has been in that seat. We want to, things change. We can absolutely change that. But it'll be up to you. It'll be up to you as a young candidate, a Black woman, to see to make sure and to see fit that you are the one who is qualified to be in that seat. Not anybody else, not James. Even though James Tortora, sorry for butchering the brother's name, but even though he low key was campaigning for you, and saying the things that should be said when you're running for. And I wouldn't even mind it if both of them were in that seat, if both of them were in that position, because obviously things can be done. But again, I'm for the system. So, need it as it may, you heard it from the horse's mouth. So, I will play the other clip for the final time, and wondering why the reasons why white nation is so emboldened to come out and express the reverse racism. And that's what I call it, the reverse racism. And it's safe to say, in a time like this, in the Trump era, that white people feel the way that they feel. I mean, it's what they do. But we expected it. We expected this. I expected this. This is nothing new under the sun. They do this in Lansing, Michigan. Lansing, Michigan, they express, skinheads go up to the Capitol and they express themselves each and every single time. That's what they do. But it's good coming from these people, because we for those who don't know, who are living under a rock, we were waiting for this entire time, because we already knew that this was coming. Remember when I told you, real quick, about the face of the whoever's the face of the White House, the face of the world, of the free world? Whoever is that face controls not only the United States, but controls the world and can do any and everything by breaking the rules, by breaking the constitutional laws, by breaking the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the 13th, 14th, 15th, 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd Amendment, which this man has done, and is a 34 convicted felon, a rapist, a narcissistic. I mean, he's all types of things, and is very weird when it comes to his offspring. But let me not talk about those things. If you're a Gen Xer, you know who he is, and you know who he was. And you're a baby boomer, you definitely know who he is. But let me not hold you. Let's get into the clip one more time, please, for those who have not seen it and for those who are just getting here.
There's still so much important work to do, my friends. We're barely a year into this administration, not even a year into the administration. But I'm so proud of the accomplishments of the president and the entire administration. In just a year, we ended Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's border crisis. December marks 7 months straight of zero releases at the southern border. More than 2.5 million illegal immigrants have left the United States, the first time in over 50 years that we have had negative net migration, and it's just the start. When you restore sanity at the border, it shows up everywhere else. Rent prices are dropping 4 months in a row, and more native-born Americans are working than ever before. Kamala Harris opened the border and destroyed the economy. The Trump administration gave you net negative migration and much more job creation. Real wages are finally growing. Inflation is half of what it was under Democrats. Gas prices are their lowest in years. And we have finally made it clear that in the United States, we believe in hard work and merit. Unlike the left, we stand against treating anybody, and I love what Nikki said about this. We don't treat anybody different because of their race or their sex. So we have relegated DEI to the dustbin of history, which is exactly where it belongs.
White power! White power!
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. You don't have to apologize for being white anymore. You don't have to apologize for being white anymore. You don't have to apologize for being white anymore. And if you're an Asian, you don't have to talk around your skin color when you're applying for college, because we judge people based on who they are, not on ethnicity and things they can't control. We don't persecute you for being male, for being straight, for being gay, for being anything. The only thing that we demand is that you be a great American patriot, and if you're that, you are very much on our team. Just consider the contrast. Kamala Harris used the government to censor you. We're using, in the Trump administration, the government to protect your free speech, whether it's on college campuses or in the digital marketplace of ideas. Today, our military is welcoming patriots instead of firing them for refusing to accept an unlawful vaccine mandate.
Don't you dare talk about that Indian woman. That's his woman. We have questions on that, but like I said, if it's good for the gusters, good for the gander. That's his woman, that's his wife. We will not talk about that good Aryan brotherhood. Brethren, whatever.
Honor Charlie, but also to honor all of you. We're working to end the scourge of left-wing violence in the United States of America. We're going after the far-left crime networks, but we're also going after the monsters that fund them. We don't just want to go after the Antifa member who threw a brick at an ICE agent. We want to know who bought the brick, and we're going to prosecute them too.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That might be me. I'm one of those well, I don't have one of those what you call them shit. I don't go into those blogs. I don't do I don't do the blogs thing. I definitely do not do the blogs thing. But I could be one of those ones because, I am anti-Trump. Anti-Trump meaning anti-J.D. Vance. Anti-J.D. Vance means anti-white America. So, yikes. Like, share, subscribe channel. Like, share, subscribe channel.
We're making America healthy again with our great HHS Secretary Bobby Kennedy. We're bringing drug prices down and purging our food supply of the poison that had built up over a generation. But my friends, there is so much more to be done. And the people saying we need to be doing more, we need to be doing it faster, trust me, I hear you. Greatness awaits every single one of you in the America First movement we are building together, but we need your help to get...
What's wrong with Trump? Well, he's a convicted felon. He's an asshole. That much I do know, from not just from now, but back then. He's always been an asshole. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's a thief. He's a crook. He's a con artist. Let's see. And very, very weird, I might add. Very, very weird. I'm not gonna get into the details of it because I did it because I showed so much, receipts of it's just disgusting. But I do have receipts, and others have the same receipts. So I mean, let's ask Marjorie. Yeah, let's ask Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's ask that broad that let me be fair. Let me be fair. Because she did out the man. I mean, anybody who ends up getting fired by Trump, somehow they always have a story. Am I not right, Lisa? Am I not right, Barb? That every time people from the Trump administration gets fired by him, they always come up with some story, which is definitely true. What'd you say? Hold on. What did you just say to me? What did you just say to me? Get the hell out of here, you goddamn coon, you fucker. This is my goddamn show, and I get to tell whatever the hell I want to say. Let me tell you something, you motherfucker, something. That goddamn Donald Trump hadn't done nothing to this goddamn America. You don't fucking understand me? He ain't done shit to America but give them the greatest gift of all, and that's giving all whites a chance to express who we are. We're getting sick and tired of coming out of the closet and coming around the blacks and coming around the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans and the Indians, blah, 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 and coming around all these motherfuckers out here. I say motherfuckers, and God damn it, all of them. This is ours. This is our nation. We built this. Blood, sweat, and nuisance. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's JD for you. You suffer from Tourette's. Oh, your mother. But she had no problem sucking my dick last night. But anyway, this is as good as it gets right here. All the lies and all the deceitfulness. But that's your answer. Someone asked me, what did Trump do? Obviously, people who were just crawling from under a rock or don't really know and don't pay attention to politics very much, or who don't know who Trump is, We-On-Loc will provide the receipts necessary for you to understand who the fuck Trump is. It's very, very simple. Even white folks know who Trump really, really is. They've done deals with him. And doing deals with a man like Trump, you're only going to get duped pretty much. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, of course. And the bots who don't understand these things, I mean, it is what it is, kid. I refuse to argue with people about the same old. I'll just let the receipts speak for themselves. I could just totally just get receipts. But before we get to the receipts, we have to say goodbye. We have to say goodbye to Nicki Minaj, y'all. We have to say goodbye to her. She has completely lost her mind, completely lost her marbles, and has completely disrespected Louis Farrakhan. Completely disrespected Louis Farrakhan. We will not have that. If she wants to go all the way right wingist, please, by all means, do what you do, boo-boo. Do what you do. She is a whole disappointment. A whole fucking disappointment. I mean, I followed her through Facebook. She's followed me and was promoting, her stuff. And all the barbs got something to answer. You know what I'm saying? Definitely have something to answer to. Let's see. Here. Okay. It's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. But we expect it.
Did Nicki Minaj just make the biggest gaffe ever?
You have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president.
She called J.D. Vance an assassin in a conversation with, of all people.
What was she trying to imply when she's called J.D. Vance an assassin? Dun dun dun. The plot thickens. Did she go, oops? Did she do a Britney Spears? Oops. I did it again. Ain't that bitch too? You hate white folks. I hate white folks as much as they hate us.
Amen. So, what have you? I mean, you're an amazing mother. What have you seen that has been a struggle for young women today?
And then also, since both of us have little boys, I would love for you to also talk about
the male side of that question as well.
Okay, well, something that I've noticed recently is that for little girls, I think that no matter how you look, we should be trying to instill into them to be proud of how they look. Recently, in the media, it's almost been like a push to, it's not just making young Black children feel proud of themselves, but it's almost like doing that and at the same time telling other children not to be proud of themselves. And I don't want any child feeling that way.
Hold on. What you talking about, man? What you talking about? Didn't you and Cardi B were going back and forth on X talking about each other's kids? No kids! No kids! What? I told you! No kids! Y'all was going back and forth on X. You talked about Cardi B's children and she talked about your children, but yet you are lying to Mrs. You're lying to Mrs. Kirk. You're lying to a plug. And this is going all the way back to Ice Cube's Be True to the Game. Listen to the second verse of that. It's almost similar. It is almost similar to this situation right now. If you go to Ice Cube's, Google Ice Cube's Be True to the Game and listen to the second verse of that. It's almost similar. Even though he was talking about MC Hammer, even though this is a little different situation, it's almost similar because she has made millions and millions of dollars selling records, right? Now she figures she can plug her way into the politics side, just like so many others, right? Your Pharrells, your Kanye, your Yeezys, your Lil Waynes and shit like that. You feel the need to plug into that mainstream. It does not work. It does not work for you. And on top of that, you made the biggest mistake by violating Malcolm X, just like how who's the girl the girl that gives everybody diseases and shit like that, who made a lip gloss out of a disease, what and named it a disease, excuse me, named it after a venereal disease. Who was that girl? Something red or some shit. But anyway, what she said about Malcolm, what she did to invoke Malcolm's family, is this no different from Sexy Red, that's her name, Sexy Red, is no different from disrespecting Martin Luther King. And for Martin Luther King's daughter happened to come out and say, you need to take that shit down. No different.
If as Black women, we felt that we were not being represented and not being admired for our beauty, if we felt like that as Black women, why would we want to do that to other women? Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty so that we can feel No, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. Do you understand? It doesn't bother me that a woman feels and says that she's beautiful. Why shouldn't she feel that? Why have we gotten to a point where certain colors or certain kinds of people have to be afraid of loving themselves and loving the way they look? Like, isn't that wild?
Obviously, she's talking about black women. Like, black women give two shakes of a fat ass about white women and how they think. I haven't heard not one black person except for you, which you're trying to, I'm not gonna even go there with you. Had said, I haven't heard, maybe this person, maybe that person. No, I haven't heard anyone. I haven't heard any black woman mention anything about any white woman unless it was provoked. I haven't heard that. So what she is doing, she is basically promoting and saying, "Here I am. Hear me cry wolf." Yeah, your ass belongs over there. Your ass belongs over there somewhere. So, but we expected this. We expected this, along with other celebrities who want to put their hat in the ring. We expected this. Why is she hanging her head? Hanging her head? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. But I do have a person or persons that is, let me see. Give me a second here. Give me 1 second. But your opinion upon what she had stated, I'm not going to play all the rest because you can go ahead and look at that and just see how much of a kiss ass she is. We're not going to play it, but your thoughts. Is she right? Is she wrong? Whatever. In between, your thoughts. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to mess with it because you got barbs out there that feel some type of way. I had people in my comment section say, "Let's just wait and see what she's doing." It's like, what differences? Why are you paying attention to her? Why are we paying attention to this? There's a specific reason why we're paying attention to this, and we ain't paying too much attention to it, but it's there. So it's there for our attention, and we don't go as further as the first words that come out of her mouth. And the first words that come out of her mouth is like, blah, 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 blah. We support Donald Trump. Okay, cool. You're out. It's that simple. You want to support a rapist. You want to support a narcissistic 34 convicted felon. And who in the comment section said, I cannot prove or validate any of those receipts? Do I have to pull up any type of receipt about Trump? Do I have to pull up any type of receipt? I don't mind. I mean, personally, I don't freaking mind. But it's just weird. It's just freaking weird. And why in the freakity freak frack? Oh, I know what I did. It refreshed. That's what it was. It did refresh. Okay, let me see. Thank you. Right on target. Right on target. Let me see. I like this woman. I really do.
Ass, ignorant ass, clown ass bitch. And I don't really give a fuck about anything that she has to say. Nobody should be paying attention to her. However, since people are paying attention to her dumb ass, now I gotta motherfucking address some shit. Now, I really don't care about a lot of shit that she said. It's a typical Republican grip. It's the same script. But what did piss me off is how she sat up there with Eric Kirk on her dead husband tour and brought in black women. Why the fuck are we in it? For her to sit up there and say, well, if black women didn't feel good about themselves, then why would they turn around and try to make a white woman feel bad for herself because she looks good? Bitch, what? The idea that black women are somehow bullying white women when black women be over here minding our motherfucking business is stupid. The biggest bullies of white women are not black women. It's actually white women and white men. White men are the ones passing these motherfucking laws to make them baby incubators. That's allowing child marriage to come through all that ancestry shit that got going down in some of these states. Child labor. Y'all the ones that they taking away DI, which white women benefited from the most. So why the fuck are black women in it? If you go to any discussion that black women are having about black beauty, don't involve white women. If you go pick up a fucking Essence magazine, Every magazine, Jet magazine, whatever the fuck, we over here mind our black ass business talking about our hair, our face, card never declining, and the things that worry us. Mind you, we definitely got bigger motherfucking fish to fry than goddamn whatever white women got going on. Shit, 300,000 black women lost their jobs under Trump. 800,000 black women are unemployed. You could get up there and talk about that shit, bitch. But no, you trying to sit up here and make us out to be bullies. But let me ask you a motherfucking question. Name the law that white women need in order to wear their hair the way that their hair naturally looks.
No!
It doesn't fucking exist. Black women and black men, we need the Crown Act. We need the Crown Act so that we can wear our hair the way that it naturally looks when we go on a job interview or when people go to school, so that they don't have to cut their locks in the middle of a fucking wrestling match in order to continue playing. That's why we need the motherfucking Crown Act. So if anybody is being restricted from looking and feeling good the way that we naturally do, it will be black people, not white women, bitch. Nicki Minaj is a stupid, goofy ass.
Oh, if I can get her on the show, it'd be a treat. It'd be a fucking treat. Like, share, subscribe, subscribe. Please support the channel. Support. I like her. And she's right. And she's absolutely right. We don't want anything to do with those goofies. Remember when Charlie Kirk got killed, got popped, and rumor has it that, and it really wasn't a rumor, that somehow we were involved in the shit. It's like, we had nothing to do. There ain't nothing but what? A few black folks in Utah? There ain't nothing but a few black folks in Utah and mostly white folks. That was an all-white purpose school that he went to and participated in an activity and got fired on. We had nothing to do with that. We want nothing to do with that. She said, I do like her. Yeah, I told you. She's a special treat. But of course, people would say, oh, she's street. She is hood. She is ghetto. Who gives a shit? This is about time we spark this nation. It's about time we put a spark. As long as she does it right there, and I'm talking about Jasmine Crockett, as long as she has not disappointed. She has not disappointed thus far. But it's easy I know it's easy to say now, but let's just say for some miracle, she ends up being the United States Senate. She ends up being in that seat. what would her first mission be? What would her first mission be? What would her first task be? Hopefully it ain't to clown Donald Trump. We do not want to keep hearing that shit again, over and over and over again. Let us handle that. Sis, let us be that. Let us be the voice. Not the voice of reason, but the voice of purpose. We will be that shield to protect you. We will definitely be that shield. Your main focus is to be in whatever policies that you implement out there. First, healthcare, minimum wage, the youth, all those things. All the things. And I'm not a politician, but I know what's missing. And having it bumped to $7.50 to about, I should say, $17.50, that should be a stretch. I mean, I don't know. I had to look at the books. And had to see. I should say whatever it should match what this economy is. The minimum wage should align itself with the economy and where it stands right now. If you have to make it $25 an hour, it had to be $25 an hour. If it has to be at $23 an hour, let it be at $23 an hour. That should be the minimum. In certain places, that should be the freaking minimum. I shouldn't have to go to college, right? Pay out of my ass, literally out of my ass for tuition just to get either a diploma or a bachelor's or a master's, right? A certificate, not a certificate of completion, but an actual certificate. I forgot what they were called, but I shouldn't have to. Bottom line, I shouldn't have to pay so much money to get an education for so many years. We shouldn't have to be in school for years. We shouldn't have to. And then to come to find out, I've wasted 4 years of my life, 2 years of my life for this, just to get nothing. Just to get nothing? That's ridiculous. A degree or whatever it is. An actual degree or a diploma or whatever. I shouldn't have to waste my money. My money could have been going into groceries. Which, by the way, if you're getting paid $18 an hour, you should have the ability, it should be accessible for you to collect food stamps. It should, but we know what country we're living in. Oh, so since people want to keep provoking me and people want to definitely keep provoking the subject, this is J.D. Vance's boy, by the way. I mean, I didn't want to come up with this, but people keep provoking me. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. There you go. Oops. Let me see. Raising eyebrows. Okay. We can do
Thank you, everyone. Donald Trump has every right to be proud of his daughter. Ivanka is a successful, Ivy League educated businesswoman,
listen carefully,
author, and mother. She's now helping run his campaign and introduced her father at the Republican convention. Yet at times, his father...
Hey, can somebody contribute to my coffee fund? I need some coffee. It's 11:25 and I need some coffee. 11:25 around 1:25 y'all time. Need some coffee. Contribute to my coffee fund.
The praise is downright cringeworthy, like on The View in 2006.
I said that if Ivanka were my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know? Perhaps I'd be dating her. You know? That if Ivanka were my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know? That if Ivanka were my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know? That if Ivanka were my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are.
Far from protecting his daughter from being talked about as a sex object, he has encouraged it multiple times. On Howard Stern's radio show in 2004 and then again in 2006.
By the way, your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of ass.
2006.
By the way, your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. Beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. Beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. She looks more.
There's one of your receipts. There's one of them. I mean, need I say more? Oh, you want more. You want more. Oh, okay.
Voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet tall.
In May, Ivanka described herself as a feminist while defending her father on CBS after a scathing New York Times article about his alleged negative treatment of women.
Is there unending commentary on the female form?
No. I've known my father, obviously, my whole life, and he has total respect for women.
Please welcome Ivanka Trump.
Still, even Ivanka seemed confused when talk show host Wendy Williams asked about things the two have in common.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that. Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that. Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that. Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
If anybody had 2 brain cells left and realized that they made the biggest mistake of their life by voting for this man, please put a 1 in the chat and say, I made a mistake voting for this man. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised at all. He's white and he's weird. Okay? It's just, white people been doing this shit for years. For years. I mean, it goes back to it goes back to the book of Romans. It goes back way farther than that. Shit. How weird they were. Okay? Hey, come on in so we can grape you. It goes back further than that. And how specifically those people back then, how they hated women. Read the book of Romans. Read the book of Romans. In the Bible, it strictly says there were reasons why that those men, those soldiers, after coming from war, how strong they were, how bad in terms of how bad they were when it came to fighting other nations. But at the same time, when you coming back from war, there were no women around. So what do you do when there's no women around? Same with use your imagination. Use your fucking imagination. I need some real coffee after that. Man, if you like this type of content, hit a brother up and surprise. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to the person who, if I have not done already, I want to give a shout out to the person who did give me a membership before. I definitely want to give you a shout out. Let me give this person a shout out right now. It's a blessing. It is a total blessing. It definitely is a total blessing. I want to thank this person. Let me see. Where do I go? Where do I go? I know how to go to this. Let me go to my studio real quick. Thank you. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for everything. Thank you. And now we are at our mark, 15K. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Matthew McKinney, I9Z8D. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Like I said, it's a blessing. It's a definite blessing. But definitely want to give you a shout out. Want to give Kenneth Randall Spurge a shout out, and I'll definitely want to give Mrs. Ellie's 82 a shout out. If I butchered your name, I do apologize. I want to thank you. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the membership. And for those who think that I'm bullshitting, here it is. Here are their names. That's the memberships. So thank you. If you want to be a membership too, what you're going to do is like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and go to the membership channel and click on it. It's only like $3. It's only $3. But back to this bullshit. For those who wants to challenge me further, you can.
I can't relate that.
Donald Trump has always been proud of his daughter.
I'd call collect to his office. I was probably, 10 years old. He would pick up the phone every
And quite frankly, she's just as weird as he is.
single time. And he'd put me on speakerphone. Wouldn't be a long conversation. He'd introduce me to whoever was in his office.
And he was front row when Ivanka took to the catwalk during her short-lived career as a fashion model. Still, Donald Trump repeatedly points out how hot his daughter is, saying last year in a Rolling Stone article, "Yeah, she's really something, and what a beauty, that one. If I weren't happily married and, her father."
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
Ivanka continues to defend her father and has said he is not sexist. Earlier, her Twitter account showed a little heart liking an article.
And what black father would put that on an article? Name one black father who would put that on an article. Maybe it's just me. Maybe we are too different from each other. Maybe some of you white folks can explain to me your definition of a sexist. Maybe you can explain to me that this is okay in your family. If this is okay in your family and in your household, then please excuse me. But I will excuse myself from that conversation and let y'all handle y'all business. As a matter of fact, I will excuse myself and don't ever invite me to your houses again. Because in the household that I live in, we never, ever say no dumb shit like that or put some shit like that on a fucking article. Are you crazy? That is your daughter. But I guess we live in an era now, like I said, we live in a white nation, a white era, a white Trump era where everything is okay. including rape. She got raped? Where's the evidence? Was she won in a civil court? Did she won in federal court? What about federal? Why is he not in jail? He has immunity. Why is he not in jail? Dumb shit. It's dumb. Dumb. Where was the one? I'm not even playing with y'all today. I should put Donald Trump's face on there. What's his name? Howard. Howard. Was it 2005 or 2010? Was it 2005 or 2010? 5, I believe.
For me to walk in. It's too young. 30 is like a perfect age. Absolutely. She has enough life experience. She's 35. Too much life experience. What is it at 35, Howard? It's called checkout time.
And you're probably, I would say, the greatest judge of beauty on this planet. In fact, I would create a TV show for you where all you do, we strip it out all over the country. One of them comes up to you and says, Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man. Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you. Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything.
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And,
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right, I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so you're there. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Okay, they're standing there with no clothes. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Okay, they're standing there with no clothes. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
If he's not a weirdo, to you, white folks, if he's not a weirdo, please tell me. Tell me. Please tell me. Enough about him and white supremacy. See what Jasmine got to say on that damn.
Welcome to Democracy in Color with Steve Phillips, a color-conscious podcast about politics. I'm your host, Steve Phillips. As we approach the end of the first year,
began her career as an attorney advocating for social justice and civil rights. She's a graduate of Rhodes College and the University of Houston Law Center. Welcome, Representative.
Appreciate you making the time, particularly at this moment here. I know so much going on. One of the reasons we would like to have you on because of the voice that you've been trying to provide within this country, and it actually is you've taken a different approach from some other people in elected office. But somebody who's on the front lines, how have you thought about the kinds of leadership that this moment requires?
Yeah, I think that this moment requires fearlessness. I think that when you have a bully and they smell fear or they smell blood in the water, then they pounce. And I think that, as one of the phrases that the governor of California used over and over is that you've got to fight fire with fire. And we are at an existential point in this country. And so, what people see is how I authentically feel. And I think that is why, because they're sitting at home and they're frustrated, but at least they know that I am sitting where the power is supposed to reside, and I'm frustrated too. And I think that it just makes me more human, that I'm not just kind of going through the motions and have some staffers that tell me I've got to say this or say or do this or that, but instead I'm outraged. And frankly, I don't really care your political, but we've lost over 1.1 million jobs in this country. And if, there are those that don't believe we're in a recession, they absolutely know that we're headed to a recession. I mean, then frankly, I don't really know what you stand for if you're not outraged.
Well, I, for one, outraged. I know I'm not alone. I wanted to ask you, you weren't always a career politician. You start off as a public defender, as I mentioned earlier when I was introducing you, and you were a public defender before forming your own civil rights law firm, right? I wanted to just quickly ask you, why did you ultimately decide to run for office in the first place?
Yeah, so I got frustrated. So I did lots of criminal defense work, both paid as well as court appointed, as well as actually being in a public defender's office. And then once you hang your own shingle, you do whatever walks through the doors. So I've done divorces, I've done corporate work, I've done, as you said, the civil rights work, and I've also done personal injury work. And it was my work in the courtroom for criminal justice that was just the most infuriating that I had ever experienced. And so I tell this story, and I actually only recently addressed a portion of this story in committee the other day, where I talk about the fact that I represented a 17-year-old kid who was accused of stealing candy out of the concession stand at his high school. And unfortunately, in the state of Texas, at 17, you're considered an adult. We are only one of 5 states that decide you're an adult only for criminal justice purposes, nothing else. And so he was in the adult system. There was no certification that was necessary. And the crime that he was charged with was a felony of burglary of a building.
Oh, no.
And I was so frustrated because I was like, we should have a smart prosecutor that would not decide that stealing candy at 17 out of the concession stand somehow should result in a felony. But the attorney that he had prior to me, I put him on probation. Ultimately, he violated that probation for what we call technical violations. He didn't pick up any new charges. He didn't have any dirty UAs, but he wasn't able to pay his fines. He wasn't able to show up to see his PO because he was relying on his mom, who was struggling, who would have to take off work to go get him there. And the judge ended up giving him a maximum sentence. And I remember being so pissed off that I wasn't his attorney the first time, because I would have taken it to a jury trial. I would have made the prosecutor very scared to inform a jury that this is how our law works, right? And so finally I was just like, you know what? I want to change the laws. I just want to change the laws. At some point in time, I thought maybe we should change the DA, but we have 254 counties in the state of Texas. So how many other counties are these injustices being carried out? And to continue to represent kids that were getting charged with felonies for having edibles, right? Because in the state of Texas, any sugar, any chocolate, any flour that is added to the actual flower of marijuana, that all is added up, and that is counted as weight. And so as they started to get into vape pens, as they started to get into Rice Krispie treats, here it was, I was getting kids, not saying that I condone what they were doing, but in my mind, they're doing kind of kid stuff, but somehow now they were getting charged with felonies. And it was more so luck of the draw where you were. And if you get charged with a felony drug crime, then when it comes down to going to college, you don't end up being able to get the financial aid. And so I was just, again, frustrated. So I will say that my frustration came from actually being in the work itself and believing that either these people had no idea what they were doing, or they were intentionally kind of creating the system that many people have been complaining about for a very long time. And I felt like I was best equipped to go in and tinker and hopefully fix it a little bit, considering my actual experience in the courtroom.
So we're recording this a few days before the filing deadline for the U.S. Senate seat in the Texas race. You have a rally on Monday. And so without scooping your announcement, can you talk about what it takes to win in a state like Texas, a state that a lot of people think of as conservative, but actually is a majority minority state, 61% of the people, 51% of the eligible voters. What do you think the voters of Texas are looking for in leadership? and how does somebody go about winning? How does a Democrat go about winning statewide in Texas?
Yeah, so I mean, this is a really tough question. As you know, Steve, I'm sure you have watched, as many people have, as I've consistently gone back and forth. Number one, you have to be fearless again, right? Because there's a lot of people that don't believe in Texas. As someone who served in the state house during the census, I know the numbers. And
hey, Lisa, Bard, no pillow talking about me. No, I was playing.
Laid it out. We are a majority minority state. And frankly, right now we have an administration that is attacking every single minority that you can think of. And so, in my opinion, the environment is definitely ripe for people being upset and frustrated and scared. And it doesn't matter your immigration status, as we've seen that this administration has arrested a record number of U.S. citizens, as we know that the Constitution is seemingly being thrown out the window every single day, whether we're talking about immigration or whether we're talking about due process in general, no matter what it is, whether we're talking about their bombing boats or all kinds of stuff. So I say this, and finally, the economy, right? Like, we know that the economic harm is real. In addition to the fact, like, when I talk about the economy, I think about Texas and what our economy looks like. And we do trade big, really big. And right now, with the tariffs, that is impacting so many Texans, those in rural Texas as well as urban Texas. When we talk about healthcare, Texas has more uninsured people than any other state in this country. So, like, there are real basic things that we can talk about. And I think having those conversations and being able to be about when the other side wants to distract because they don't have a plan, when they decide that they want to go off about trans kids, or when they decide that they want to blame diversity, equity, and inclusion in a state that is majority minority. But more importantly, it takes being on the ground. It takes, number one, having the actual investments in the state of Texas. It takes investing in people of color and believing in them and explaining to them why you're going to be a champion that is going to make sure that economic opportunities, educational opportunities, housing opportunities are real for them, and focusing on what matters most to them and having those conversations. And frankly, I don't know if we've made those investments into people of color. What we do know is Republicans have. We do know Republicans spent a lot of money specifically on Latinos, specifically at the border, where Democrats weren't spending any, even though it was nothing but a hoodwink job, right? Like, they were conning so many people into believing that they cared about them. I think that we've got to actually go have real conversations. We got to meet people where they are. And I think that we've got to get a candidate that can excite people that feel like no party has ever been a party that has cared to do better by them. I think that I have the ability to do that, but, you know, numbers on a piece of paper are one thing, execution is another. And so for us, it's been thinking about everything, like, how do we execute? How do we make these numbers a reality? And trying to figure that out in a state of 30 million with some of the most expensive media markets it's a challenge. But, you know, it's like December 8th, it is upon us. So I will have my mind made up.
Right. Well, we know that you are so busy now because December 8th is not very, very close around the corner. And we really appreciate you having, taking some time out of your day today to join us today. So before we let you go, I wanted to wrap up one final question. When you're long retired, long time from now, when you're looking back at this chapter of your life, what do you have accomplished and what legacy do you hope to leave? Just one sentence, just for fun.
For me, I think it's about inspiring future generations and making them believe that there is nothing that they can't accomplish. If I have just one kiddo that says that they remember watching me as a kid, and because of that, they ended up doing something that somebody told them was impossible, then I think that I would have lived my life in the most fullest way.
There will be more than one. Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for joining us.
Absolutely.
And with that note, I will end it there. And I would definitely say, if you are going to vote, and you have till November, well, you can do early voting in March, but the big head honcho is November. I want you to go to change.org/Jasmine, swear in Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate. Again, change.org/swear in Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate. And I will see you in another live stream.